All right, here we are at table number 3. Okay, so hopefully by now you realize that anything to the first power, that's just the same as no exponent. Right? Hopefully you saw like, oh, 2 to the first is 2, 3 to the first is 3, so 4 to the first is 4, right? Now these we've learned before, right? 4 to the second is 16, that's 4 times 4, this is 4 times 4 times 4, that's 64, this is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, that's 256, okay? Now, and when I go down and I divide by 4, I get 1 here. So what do I notice? What do I notice about an exponent of 0? An exponent of 0 always equals 1. Always, no matter what. Okay? So, and then going down this way, I get, this is 1/4, right? Look, 4 to the first is 4, so 4 to the negative first is 1 over 4. 4 to the second is 16, so 4 to the negative second is 1 over 16. 4 to the third is 64. 4 to the negative third is 1 over 64, okay? This is the pattern that I observed. So we're going to talk about negative exponents right now. Let's just make sure we're super solid on exponent of 1. It's the same as no exponent. So 4 to the first, it's 4. B to the first, it's B. 142 to the first, it's 142, okay? Exponent of 0 always equals 1. So if it's 5 to the 0, that equals 1. If it's n to the 0, that equals 1. If it's all this junk to the 0 power, it still just equals 1. Okay? So those two are just kind of a little bit more straightforward. The negative exponents are tricky. So here is the rule, and here's what we observe, right? Like here's 4 to the second is 16. 4 to the negative second is 1 over 16. So what we see is like, if I have a number, like, see, like if I have 4 to the negative second, that's the same as 1 over 4 to the second, right? This became 1 over positive 16, right? So, and notice in this example, we're not talking about any negative numbers, we're just talking about negative exponents here, okay? So this is kind of the rule. Okay, now what you need to know is that simplest form, like if I say simplify, you would never leave an answer like this. Simplest form is positive exponents only, okay? Simplest form, positive exponents only. Okay, let's take a quick look. Write the expression as a fraction with a positive exponent, okay? So this, right, here's what happens. This 5 to the negative 7th, and we're not evaluating, so we're not actually doing 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, right? We're not going to do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this. If I have a negative exponent, that's the same as putting this on the other side of the fraction, right? Like this, we can kind of like imagine this is like a fraction, where this is on the top. But if the exponent is negative, it's going to switch to the other side of the fraction, okay? Here, okay, we can take this, now we can rewrite this. We wouldn't ever do this because we don't write things that are not in simplest form, but this is the same as this, right? This is the same as this. 1 over 60 to the 29th power is the same as 60 to the negative 29th power, okay? We can rewrite it, so now we don't, right? We don't generally do this, but I want you to see, we can go in both directions. We can change from something that looks like this to something that looks like this. We can also change it the other direction. We don't usually do this. This is the one that we usually do because we like this form, this simplest form, okay? But you can see these are the same, okay? You can see in the rule, right? This is the same base, right? This is the base, 58 is the base. It's the same exponent, only the sign is different, right? Here it's on the bottom of the fraction, it's positive. Here, it's not on the bottom of the fraction, it's negative. Okay, so let's just, let's do a couple problems that you might run into, and then you'll get a chance to try this out. Okay, so this becomes 1 over 4 to the third, right? This is a negative 3, so we're going to put it on the bottom of the fraction, and then 4 to the third, you can even kind of cheat over here, is 64. So this becomes 1 over 64. Okay, what about this one? Okay, 5 to the 0 power, what does 5 to the 0 power equal? That equals 1, right? Anything to 0 power equals 1. Times, this is 3 to the negative second, so that becomes 1 over 3 to the second. Now, when I multiply by 1, that doesn't do anything, right? This is just 1 times something, like 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times a million is a million. So multiplying by 1, it kind of just like cancels, right? So this becomes 1 over 3 to the second, and 3 to the second is 9, so this is 1 over 9. Okay, how about this one? 5 to the negative second, so that's the same as 1 over 5 to the positive second, times, And 4 times 1, or sorry, 4 to the power of 1 is just 4. Okay, so this becomes 1 over 25 times 4. And if I'm going to multiply by a whole number, right, it's the same as over 1. This becomes 4 over 25. Okay, and notice, like, is there some complicated pieces of this? Yeah, but just keep track of it piece by piece, right? We rewrite this using the rules of negative exponents. We rewrite this using the rule that an exponent of 1 is the same as no exponent, right? This was just the number 4. Okay, and then I just did my multiplication across. Here, if I'm going to simplify this, right, if I have n to the negative 5th, I write it as 1 over n to the 5th. Okay, that is simplest form. This is not simplest form. It's not done. Okay, now look here. This is x to the 5th times 1 over n to the 4th. This becomes, right, you can put the 1 under here if you want to see it like that. This is x to the 5th over n to the 4th. So notice what happens here. The positive exponent stays on top of the fraction because it's positive. The negative exponent comes down to the other side of the fraction. Okay, and last one. A to the 0 power is just 1 times, this is 1 over b to the 3rd times c to the 4th. Okay, now this 1 multiplying by 1 doesn't really mean anything, so that's going to disappear. And then I'm just multiplying across. This becomes c to the 4th over b to the 3rd. All right, so make sure you have those down. Go back to any point in the video if you would like, but you're going to move forward and try some of these on your own.